Hello, my wonderful Aries, and welcome to Vovo Tarot. I'm your host, Joni Vovo, and today I'll be doing a general reading for the sign of Aries, and we're currently in the first 2 weeks of May. So this will be a general reading for perhaps the next few upcoming weeks or month. So this is actually my first tarot reading video on YouTube ever, so well done to me. So please be patient as I get up to speed, figure everything out. Perhaps I'll eventually figure out a proper backdrop, a proper camera, 2 cameras, but for now I'll just record on my iPhone and make the best of it. So this is a general reading, so if Aries is your sun, moon, rising, or any other major placement, this reading is for you. And if the message resonates, that's great. And if not, it just means that the what comes through is for another Aries. Today I'll be doing a Celtic cross. So we're going to be looking at your current situation, past and present, what's seen, what's unseen, some general advice, and what the most likely outcome might be. So as I said, this is my first online tarot reading. I've done it several times for friends, just privately. But, I thought, why not? I'll just give it a go, see how it gets received by the interwebs. And, let me know what you think. If you love it, leave it in the comments below. If you've got any feedback or advice, I'll open myself to that as well and just see, generally how I can improve these videos and get better at doing these online tarot readings. All right, well, let's begin. So we've got the current energies, the cross energy, past, present, what's known, what's unknown, advice, external influences, hopes and fears, and then the most likely or probable outcome. All right, well, let's start with the current energy. So we've got the upside down Ace of Swords. So the swords are to do with the mind, with thought, with speech. And if it's upright, it might be that you've had a new realization, or perhaps your understanding of something has expanded. Maybe it was an external thing, like some new knowledge, some new information, some advice, someone's opinion has come in and sort of given you a new way of seeing things. Inverted might be that you're a bit stuck, like maybe there's something that you're trying to understand or wrap your head around. Maybe there's something that you're wanting to or needing to express and you're not quite sure how to go about it, or maybe you don't have the courage how to, share those inner thoughts or inner truth that you want to. I don't know what the context is, if this is like in a family context, a work context, a romantic context, but maybe you're holding back, or maybe you're waiting for this epiphany to come through and it hasn't quite landed. So let's look at the immediate past. And this kind of follows it up as well, the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is very curious, asks a lot of questions, is seeking out information and knowledge. And if it's inverted, then again, maybe they're holding back. Maybe they're not in your immediate past. Maybe you didn't do enough research. Maybe you didn't ask enough questions. Maybe you didn't find all the answers that you were looking for. Or it might have been the opposite. Maybe you got so stuck in your head, going round and round and round, asking so many questions that you got to this point of stagnation. So there's something there about being open and curious and questioning, and it not quite being in alignment in your immediate past. So let's look at the future. Oh, okay. So we've got the Magician, also inverted. So the Magician has, if you can see on the card, the Magician has a wand, a cup, a pentacle, and where's the fourth one? A sword right there. So the Magician has all 4 elements, mind, heart, opportunities, what am I missing? Oh, and what am I trying to say? Resources, like pentacles, like whether that's wealth, money, or whatever sort of resource it is. So the Magician has everything at their disposal, ready to produce and manifest and create. So if it's inverted in your immediate future, it might be that you still are a bit stuck, that, you know, you're here waiting for this idea to come in, waiting for this new way of thinking or seeing to come in. And you've kind of exhausted yourself asking all these questions, doing all this research. And it's saying that perhaps this stuck energy is, you know, going to be around for a little while. So maybe it's a lesson of patience. Maybe the timing isn't right, but, you know, it seems there's something, you're trying to move forward in some particular way, but you just don't seem to have all the resources or all the knowledge or the information that you need. All right, well, that's a lot. So let's look at what the, I guess, cross energy is, the problem or the situation. Oh, I see. So a lot of inverted cards today, my apologies. It's a bit heavy, but we've got the Ten of Cups inverted. So the Ten of Cups is like ultimate happiness. So you can see there's this couple there, there's kids, there's a home, there's a, you know, abundant river running through this green field, and then there's all the cups in the rainbow. Love it. So it's, you know, having that complete sense of fulfillment and achievement. But it's inverted, so it's the current problem or cross energy. So it seems like this is what you're wanting. This is what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to get to this ultimate happiness, ultimate fulfillment, Ten of Cups. And looking at the cards we've just turned over, it's like you're not quite sure how to get there. You don't have all the information you need. You don't have all the resources you need. There's some gap, something that you don't yet know or don't yet have that's holding you back from getting to this. So let's look at what's in your conscious, what's currently known. And we've got another inverted card. Okay, so there's a lot of inversion going on here, but we've got the Five of Cups. So you can see here, this person is looking at the three spilled cups. That's their focus, you know, they're shrouded, they've got their head down, they're stagnant, they're not moving, they're just stuck, looking at this disappointment, looking at what's been lost, or what didn't come into fruition, or what didn't happen. Whereas behind them, there's these two cups. Let's just presume they're full. These two full cups, full to the brim, right behind them. All they need to do is turn around and change their perspective and see that there's still opportunities, still abundance around them, but they're so focused and transfixed on these three spilled cups. So this was inverted, right? So this is what's consciously in your mind. So you are probably aware that maybe you're trying really hard to change your perspective, that you're looking, you can see all these areas where things haven't worked out, where you haven't found your Ten of Cups. You know, you've probably pursued a few different things, and then these ventures forward that you've made have just resulted in spilled cups. But you're aware that there's still more opportunities out there. I guess you still have the stamina, you still have hope, that there's more paths that you can take. But being inverted, it seems like this is a bit of a mental battle, that you want to have that positive attitude, that positive mindset, and you're doing a lot of work to try and keep pursuing those additional cups and additional ways forward. So that's what's known. It seems like it's a bit of a mental battle going on. What's in the unconscious mind? All right. Oh, so the first upright card, and I'm sorry, it's a difficult one. So we've got the Five of Pentacles. So you can see here, there's this poor duo, like out in the cold. So they're in the snow and they're outside this building. And you can see, you know, light and warmth is coming through that window, and it's very clear that they're excluded. They're on the outside. They don't have access to that, I guess, safety and, you know, warmth, sense of home. So in your unconscious mind, there might be a bit of a lack mindset, that perhaps you're thinking that things just aren't going to work out, that you're never going to get to this 10 of cups. It's just not meant for you, that you're always going to fail, always going to miss out on those opportunities. And because this is in your unconscious mind, this might be something like a really deep value or a deep story that you're telling yourself that you're not even aware of. So, if you're here with this mental battle, trying to stay positive, it might be worthwhile going a little deeper and figuring out, well, where's this story coming from? Why do I believe that things won't work out for me? And why do I believe that I don't deserve happiness and fulfillment? So maybe investigate that, see where that's coming from. All right, so that's current energies, past, present, known, unknown. So we're going to jump to advice for this situation. Oh, okay. All right, so another upright card, we've got justice. So I would guess if we go back to these attitudes and mindsets that you've got, I suppose perhaps there's a little more grace here. Like in your immediate past, perhaps there's been situations that you thought were unfair. Perhaps there were situations where things weren't, the negative outcome wasn't really in your hands. Maybe you went forward with your best efforts, best mindset, and then something external meant that it didn't work out. So that's really unfair. And yeah, that's hard. That's really hard for your advice. So I can see why it would be difficult going into new opportunities, like with this energy. So perhaps the advice here is to do your best to resolve this injustice from the past. And that's really hard, like moving on, healing, forgiving, doing that work, particularly if you can't, if it was a job that you've left, a relationship that you've left, a social group that you've left, and you have to do that healing on your own, that's really hard. But, if you can resolve this injustice and, bring things back into balance, when you go into these new opportunities, you're not going to bring that energy with you. And, if we look back here at the Five of Cups, there might have been all these situations here that weren't fair, that didn't work in your favor, not due to your fault or anything on your part at all. But it doesn't mean that it's going to happen every time. There's, always the opportunity that things will be fair, that things will work in your favor. So, yeah, that's the advice. This is a bit heavy and a bit tough. I'm feeling a bit emotional. It's a bit intense. So my apologies. I hope this is helpful. So external energies, oh my gosh, this just kind of reinforces this story of unfairness from the past. So we've got the Seven of Wands. So you can see here, there's this guy. He's run in, grabbed Five of the Swords, and now he's nicking off. So, I mean, this card could sometimes be positive, sometimes be negative, but it's about doing things in a unconventional way. So ordinarily, you'd go into battle with the swords, swing them around, and that's how you'd resolve the issue. But this guy thought, you know what? I'm going to be unconventional. I'm going to run in, steal the swords, and that's how we're going to win the war. So these external energies, it might be that people, are a little sneaky, are doing things a bit behind the scenes. So, it might mean you just need to be observant, be aware, do things that protect yourself. Yeah. So, again, we want this unfair energy to be something that we don't... What am I trying to say? We don't want to go into a situation jaded, expecting the worst, but we want to learn from this experience and go into a situation and be wise. And still have the best intentions and openness, but with discernment. Because, you know, there's always going to be sneaky people wherever you go, whatever you do. So it's not about being, it's not about where'd the card go. It's not about being resigned to everything's going to go wrong all the time. It's about going in best intentions, best hope, best outcome, but about being discerning about what the reality is, how other people are going to act and behave, and, you know, not being thrown, not being shocked, not being offended, just seeing it for what it is and making good choices. This is intense. Okay. This is intense for my first YouTube video, but anyway, let's keep going. I'm just getting really frustrated here. Okay. All right, so hopes and fears. All right, this kind of confirms what I've been saying. So we've got the King of Cups. So be clear-headed. Be self-aware. Know what experiences you're bringing to the table, what emotions you're bringing to the table. Do that introspective work so that when you do face, you know, these situations, you know, you can be calm, cool, collected, not be thrown, not be triggered, and make a great decision that doesn't add to that negative energy, but is both protective of yourself, perhaps if you've got the capacity, transformative of that negative energy, turn it into something else, but still works towards, you know, your own goals without joining in with the sneakiness. So that's pretty cool, like hopes and fears. So, you know, I can see here you're wanting to know the way forward to your happiness, but you're also wanting to do this inner work for yourself and reach this place of being calm, cool, collected, and level-headed. That's great. All right, final outcome. I'm feeling anxious about turning the last one. Let's just see what it is. Okay, all right. Another inverse card, but I think it's okay this time. So we've got the Fool. So often, or ordinarily, the Fool upright, it's about, you know what, just go for it. Just jump in. Just blindly go ahead with whatever it is, because, you know, anything could happen. It might be a great adventure. You'll learn something. But I feel you've already done that. You've already gone into like a lot of situations with this, not naivety, I'll just say innocence. You've gone into lots of situations with innocence and openness. And, you know, maybe 3 times you've kind of learnt your lesson. You're like, this doesn't seem to be working for me. So inverted, it's not time for you to just rush in and blindly or naively hope for the best. It's time for you to be self-aware, know your past, know what energy you're bringing in, know your triggers, know your frustrations, for you to be perceptive about what other people are doing, but also don't be reactive. Just be smart, be wise. You've wherever I put the card, here it is. You've learnt your lessons. You've done the work, you've integrated it. You see people clearly for how they act, how they behave. And so you don't have to go in foolhardy. You're not. You know, you're going in, it's the King of Cups. So you do have a level of autonomy and authority to guide the situation. And, you know, your immediate future was not quite knowing how to move ahead and achieve that 10 of Cups, but I think you do know how to move ahead. I think it's about being discerning and wise and making good decisions so that you can turn one of these sneaky situations turn it around so that you can achieve that Ten of Cups. Even though it's a lot harder, it's a lot more complicated. Like, why can't people, like, why do people have to do things in a sneaky way? Why can't we all just be upfront, straightforward, and go in with our best efforts and best intentions? Not quite the real world. We still have to exist, yeah, in the world. So I'll just say, good on you. You're trying to turn this around and work towards this and find that inner knowing and find that wisdom. Okay, well, that's it for my first reading. Like I said, leave some comments below. I'll open myself up to it, positive or negative. I'm happy for feedback. I'll try and, we'll see how this goes. I'll try and do a monthly reading for each sign. Here we are at the start with Aries. I'll see how I go tonight. I might try and get another sign or two in before I clock off. Yeah, otherwise, I'm Joni Vovo. Mwah. Lovely to see you all. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.